So then you can start to condition the word muzzle. Good, great. Good dog. Okay, bonjour, let's talk about muzzles. We've got the Hannibal Lecter style Jafco, which is great for human aggressive dogs because all of these little tiny holes here are a lot less likely to get a finger in than, say, the Baskerville, the Hounds of Baskerville muzzles, which is better for a dog aggressive dog. Now, your dog doesn't have to be aggressive to wear a muzzle. Perhaps they just don't like getting their nails cut, or you're unsure of how your dog's going to react around a new thing or person. They can't do anything wrong when they're wearing a muzzle. This is kind of like a seatbelt. Never get in a car accident and then say, I wish I didn't have my seatbelt on. So the muzzles that I really don't like are the open-faced ones, the ones that groomers use a lot. They just kind of slip over the muzzle. The dog's entire front of their mouth is still exposed. And unless that thing is clamped so tight that they can't even breathe, which of course you don't want to do, they can still bite you. I've been bitten through them while grooming until I discovered these muzzles. Of course, they'll be linked in the product section. They come in different sizes. This is a 4, so you're going to want to have the right size for your dog. And a really important function is the third strap. They both have a third strap that comes up over. A lot of dogs will do this first thing and pull it down off of, they'll kind of go under their elbows and pull it off of their nose, which the whole point of the muzzle is to keep it on. So you can see with this Baskerville right here, there's a big opening so that the dog, they can drink out of this so they can wear it for longer periods of time. One thing is that you can see on the Jafco here, on the inside, there's a little foam padding, which is great for the bridge of their nose. One thing that a client of mine did for their dog is they put a makeup pad, like a whatever you use to take off your makeup, they attach that right here, so because it was rubbing on their dog's nose and causing some irritation. So that's one thing that you can do to make this more comfortable for your dog. The Jafco muzzle, you can pay for there to be a hole right here, or you can just cut it out yourself as I did. So it's big enough that they can get their tongue out, and I've kind of made sure that none of this is sharp so that they can wear this for longer periods of time if need be, but they can still drink and eat out of it. Okay, so it's very important that your dog be comfortable in the muzzle, so you're gonna see how to condition to the muzzle and get them to wear it for longer periods of time without them constantly digging and pulling at the muzzle. This might take a few days, it might take a couple of weeks.
Hi, hey, good girl. Okay, this is Bess. She's a 7-year-old border collie, and up until recently, she lived in a home where she never socialized with other dogs, and they just were out in the middle of nowhere, and it was never an issue. So she's very social with her sister. However, even then, when she gets overexcited, she can go after her sister and redirect and kind of grab her by the scruff. So in order to introduce her safely and have her around a pack of dogs, we need to muzzle train her. So she's already been started to be muzzle conditioned, and here's how you do that. So this is her daily portion of food, and this is the only way she's going to eat. Okay, very, very important that if I want to condition her to be excited about this, this is how I'm going to do it. Not with treats. This is how she's going to eat. Until she's comfortable with this, this is the only way she's going to eat. Okay, so I have a leash on her so that she doesn't go anywhere. And with my Baskerville, because it has the hole, or with my Jafco muzzle that I've cut the hole out of, I can condition her. I can put some food in the muzzle. I can just I could even just put the bowl in there, but I'm just going to put a little bit of food. Here, Bess. So initially, first step, she interacts with the muzzle. Boom, some food. So she interacts with the muzzle. Good girl. Here's some food. So just having the muzzle around is really the first step in this process. So I want her to get excited by this. Good girl, here's some food. So my food is here, but when she interacts at all with the muzzle, so this is free shaping her to the muzzle. She gets even a little bit good. So she kind of accidentally hit her chin. So you can do this over time, the dog will realize good. So that little millisecond of an interaction with the muzzle equals some food. And I can kind of bounce a little bit, good girl, here's some food, to get her more excited about that. And then I'm just gonna put some food right in my hand, in the muzzle, and let her eat out of that for a while. Good dog. So she puts her whole face in the muzzle. Good girl. And if the dog refuses the food and doesn't want to put their face in there or doesn't want to interact with that, no problem. It just means that they're going to fast, and when they get excited and motivated for the food, they'll put their face in. There's a lot of things that I didn't want to do in my life that when I got excited about the paycheck, I did them. Okay, so we want her nice and comfortable with having her face in the muzzle. And then when I'm ready to start putting on the straps, okay, so she's eating away, I can start to introduce even, just a touch with the strap. So having my hands around her while she's putting her face in. I'm gonna put lots of food in this time. Whoops. As you can see, there's a lot to hold on to here. So this is where I might use the bowl. Here, Bess. And she can put her whole face in there while the bowl is here. Come here. Good girl. And then I can start to get her used to me coming around her head. Again, if she doesn't want the food, she doesn't want to stick her face in there, I'm not going to force her to do this. Come here. I can encourage her. Come on. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. So I can just throw the strap over the back of her. So this is initially conditioning the dog. Once the dog is very well free shaped and motivated to put their face in the muzzle, good girl, then I can put the strap on, okay, nice and snug, very, very snug. As I put the back strap on, boom, paycheck. So the dog's eating throughout the process. I get the muzzle on. This is the one part about the Baskerville that's not great, is that there's no real third strap. So you can just put a zip tie through one of the loops and connect to that or to the buckle. Good girl, I pay again. And this is where we're gonna get up and walk and move around. I'm gonna have my food. I've got my leash on the dog. I'm ready to move. Good girl, come. So that way, now that she's moving with the muzzle on, I've got a positive for her to focus on because she's hungry. She's used to eating out of the muzzle. Good girl, come. Good dog. And then when she wants to stop and just scratch at the muzzle, just be patient with her here for a second. She'll probably at some point want to take this thing off. And if she doesn't, this is where I go back and I just keep reinforcing. I keep reinforcing with food that good behavior. She goes, oh, I found some food. So all we're going to do, come here, Bess. All we're going to do if she starts to scratch at this thing is I'm just going to pull the leash and deter that. I'm going to say no. I'm going to pop the leash. I might walk a little bit faster. Try to be more interactive with her. Good girl. What a good girl. And you just build up your time is the idea. Where she's been so good. This is the longest that she's gone without scratching. I can either keep paying, but I could also would like to end on a positive. Good girl. And she goes back and finds more food. There obviously are other kinds of muzzles. This is a harder type plastic muzzle, lots of breathability, but I can't cut a hole out of this for the dog to eat. There are leather muzzles, which are really great. Personally, I go with the Jafco or the Baskerville. This might take you a few days. It might take you a few weeks to get the dog comfortable. Stick with it. It's the only way they eat. They'll learn to love it. Right, Bess? Yeah. There you go, girl.
So again, you shouldn't be able to take that off, because if you can't take it off, he can't take it off. Good. Great. Do this the other way. Food's in the right hand, and how are you going to get it? Good. Break. Good. Break. Good boy. Break. Good. Good boy. Break. Build up time. Excellent. So then you can start to condition the